our Vraja-mandala Parikrama, and today is Go-Puja, Govardhana Puja. We are going to perform the Annakut festival of Giriraj and hear the glories of Giriraj. So first of all, we always have to chant one mantra. So you have to repeat after me. Namaste Girirajaya.
Namaste Girirajaya.
Namaste Girirajaya.
Namaste Girirajaya.
Shri Govardhana Namine.
Shri Govardhana Namine.
Shri Govardhana Namine.
Shri Govardhana Namine.
Ashesha Klesha Nashaya.
Ashesha Klesha Nashaya.
Paramananda Dayane.
Paramananda Dayane.
This is saying Namaste Girirajaya. I'm giving my Namaste to that great mountain. Namaste Girirajaya. And what is his name? Govardhana. That's the name of that mountain. And he can take all the suffering. Ashesha Klesha Nashaya. He can take all the suffering from the conditioned jivas, and he can benedict us with Paramananda, with the most supreme bliss. So this is the capacity that Giriraj Maharaj has to give. So today we'll hear the splendid glories of the most beloved Giriraj Maharaj. So we'll do our regular kirtan first, and then we'll discuss something about this.
Namo Vishnu Padaya
Krishna Pradikaya Priyatmane
Sri Sri Madhati Vedanta Narayaniti Namine Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Iti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Vastyachadashadarine Namo Vishnu Padaya Gaura Prasthaya Bhutale Shri Shri Madhvanti Pragyana Keshava Iti Namine Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Namine Namo
Hare Krishna
Mahaprabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaur Bhaktavrinda Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaur Bhaktavrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Vrindavandite Triloka Shokaharini Prashanna Vajra Pangajaya Kunja Bhuvirasi Rajendra Bhanu Nandini Rajendra Suno Sangate Karakadisya Sriramam Vipata Chakshabhajanam Ashoka Vishwavallari Vitana Mandapasite Pravala Bala Bala Prabhanurangi Kamale Varamaya Spuradgane Prabhuta Sampadayane Karakarishya Sriyamam Vipata Takshabhajanam Nanga Mangala Prasanga Bandura Bhuvam Sabhibramam Sasambramam Niganta Bhana Parvane Nirantaram Vashikrita Pratiti Nanda Nandane Kadakarishya Sriyamam Vipata Takshabhajanam Varna Champaka Pradipta Gaura Vigrahe Mukha Prabha Parasta Koti Sharadendrumam Chitra Chitra Sancharaksha Gaura Savalochane Kadakarishya Sriyamam Vipata Takshabhajanam Madhati Yovane Pramoda Manda Mandite Priyanuraja Randite Nalavilasa Pandite Ananya Jaya Gunjaraja Karma Keri Kovite Karakarishya Sriyamam Vipata Takshabhajanam Bhavadila Hira Site Prabhuta Shakundi Kumba Sustani Prashasta Mandasya Churna Purna Sokya Sagane Kadakarishya Sriyamam Vipata Takshabhajanam Ala Ala Vallari Taranga Ranga Dolate Lakara Lasya Lola Lila Lochana Prayogate Radhalulandi Landana Janukta Mohana Shrite Ragarishya Sriyamam Vipata Takshabhajanam Kanshita Tiraka Ganga Kastake Prasudha Mandali Guna Viradna Diti Sarola Nila Kantala Prasudha Dosha Kumbhite Gadakarishya Sriyamam Vipata Takshabhajanam Galandamana Pushpamekaladune Prashastaratna Kinti Kalapamadhyamangale Karindra Sundarandika Varoha Sobhagarake Kadakarishya Sriramam Vipata Takshabhajanam Ekamadramadama Sunu Prarana Vaskarat Samadhyaraja Mansavan Sanikvanat Gauravan Vilola Hema Bharani Vidam Vichadu Chankrame Kadakarishya Sriyamam Vipata Takshabhajanam Kriyeshwari, Swareshwari, Sureshwari, Vraja-mandala Parikrama, Rameshwari, Sameshwari, Ramonatadeshwari, Rajeshwari, Rajadike, Sriradike, Namostute, Iti Mama Udam Saram, Isham Yamanuram Diri, Karotu Sankatam Janam, Kripadanam, Vettadaiva Sanchita Virupakananashanam Vettana Pratinda Shundu Mandala Pradeshanam Jadagarishya Srihamam Kripatakshanam Sucharuvatsamandalam Sukanaratnakundalam Suchachitanga Chandanam Namami Nandanandanam Sudhirganetra Pankajam Shikishikandamodajam Ananda Jyoti Mohanam Namami Nandanandanam Moktikam Swachandaganta Pantikam Navangulam Gachikanam Namami Nandanandanam Sarvena Venuranjitam Yavita Linga Ganjitam Mudura Pita Shovanam Namami Nandanandanam Sundaram Dakajitam Sudadaram Amulyaram Bhushanam Namami Nandanandanam Sitanda Angasaram Suramirachita Supam Surachrivam Salanjanam Namami Nandanandanam Naganam Vilasanogavarsusam Surendranagamosanam Namami Nandanandanam Vajamnanasurayakam Yadasudapradayakam Janana Pradyovaram Namami Nandanandanam Nandanastakam Pateya Shanhayam Vita Namami Nandanam Namami Nandanandanam Namami Nandanandanam Namami Nandanandanam Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Guru Deva, Jaya Guru Deva, Jaya Guru Deva, Jaya Gurudeva, Jaya Gurudeva, Jaya Gurudeva, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, oh Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada. Nitai Gaura Hari Go, Hari Go, Hari Go, Hari Go. Nitai Gaura Hari Go. Haribo, Haribo, Gaura Haribo, Jai Gaura Haribo, 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 Jai Gaura Haribo, Haribo, Haribo.
Gauda Premanandi, Hari Hari Bol. Jai Shishi Guru Karanga and Havika Hari. Radha Madan Mohan Ju Ki Jai. Radha Govinda Dev Ki Jai. Radha Gopinath Ju Ki Jai. Radha Damodar Ju Ki Jai. Nityananda Rai Ki Jai. Sachinandana Gauda Hari Ki Jai. Jai Nitya Lila Pravishta Om. Asto Tarzara Shishimad Shila Bhakti Vedanta Narayan Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. Jai Nitya Lila Pravishta Om. Asto Tarzara Shishimad Shila Bhakti Vedanta Swami Shila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Jai Nitya Lila Pravishta Om Asto Tarazara Shishimad Shila Bhakti Pragyan Keshav Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. Jai Jagat Guru Nitya Lila Pravishta Om Asto Tarazara Shishimad Shila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Prabhupada Ki Jai. Jai Paramahamsa Mahabhagavat Shila Gaura Kishodas Babaji Maharaj Ki Jai. Jai Saptam Goswami Shila Sachidananda Bhakti Vinod Thakur Ki Jai. Jai Vaishnava Sarvabhauma Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj Ki Jai. Jai Shila Baladevi Dibhushan Gaudi Brantaracharya Ki Jai. Jai Shila Vishnu Chakravarti Thakur Ki Jai. Jai Narottam Srinivas Shyamananda Prabhu Traya Ki Jai. Jai Shila Krishna's Kaviraj Goswami Ki Jai. Jai Shri Rup Sanatan Shri Bhata Raghunath Shri Jiva Gopal Bhata Dasa Raghunath Sad Goswami Prabhu's Ki Jai. Jai Swarup Damodar Rai Ramananda Gauda Parsada Ki Jai. Namacharya Shri Hardas Thakur Ki Jai. Prem Sika Holsi Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasati Shri Gauda Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai. Shri Radha Krishna Gopinath Shamakund Radha Kund Giri Govardhana Ki Jai. Vrindavan Dham Ki Jai. Navadvip Dham Ki Jai. Ganga Jamuna Ki Jai. Vrihat Mridanga Ki Jai. Sankirtan Yagya Ki Jai. Nam Bhajan Ki Jai. Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam Ki Jai. Jagannath Baladev Subhadra Sudarshan Chakra Ki Jai. Nrsingadev Bhagavan Ki Jai. Prahlad Maharaj Ki Jai. Gopeshwar Mahadev Ki Jai. Purnamasi Dev Yogamaya Maharani Ki Jai. Antadweep Mayapur Simantadweep Gautam Dweep Matidweep Koladweep Richardweep Janadweep Modamdweep Rudradweep Atmakanavadweep Dham Ki Jai. Bandiravan, Badravan, Belvan, Lohavan, Mahavan, Madhuvan, Talvan, Kamudvan, Bahulavan, Vrindavan, Kadiavan, Kamyavan, Vraja-mandala Ki Jai. Urja Brat Ki Jai. Niyama Seva Ki Jai. Chatumasya Brat Ki Jai. Go-Puja Ki Jai, Giriraj Puja Ki Jai, Annakuta Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Jai, Gauda Premanandi, Hari Hari Bol. Om Magina Timirandasya Gyananjala Shalakaya Chakshu Unmilitam Jena Tasmaya Shri Guruve Namaha Guruve Gauda Chandraya Radhikaya Tadalaye Krishnaya Krishna Bhaktaya Tadabhaktaya Namo Namaha Yam Prabhajantamanapetyamapetikrityam Dvaipaino Viraha Katara Ajuhava Putreti Tammayatayo Taravo Benidustam Sarvabhutam Hridim Munamanatoshmi Anapita Chirim Chirat Kurunai Varatino Kalo Samarapaitam Larasam Svabhakti Shriyam Hari Purata Sundarata Tikatam Vasadipita Sada Hridare Kanare Spuratu Vasachinandanaha Bhaktiya Vihina Aparada Lakshay Shiptascha Karmadita Rangamadye Kripa Maitvam Sharanam Prapana Vrinde Namaste Charanaravindam Bhajami Radham Aravinda Netram Smarami Radham Madhurashmitasyam Kadami Radham Varanam Taratam Tato Mamanasti Katyana Kapi. I'm first of all offering Tavai Vasmi Najivami Tvaivina Iti Vignaya Radhe Tvam Charantikam. I'm first of all offering millions and millions of Dandavat pranams unto the lotus feet of my most beloved Gurudev, Nityalila Pravishta Om, Asto Tadasara Shishimad Shila Bhakti Vedanta Narayan Goswami Maharaj. And the same again, millions and millions of times, unto the lotus feet of our beloved, Nityalila Pravishta Om, Asto Tadasara Shishimad Shila Bhakti Vedanta Swami Shila Prabhupada. And all the Vaishnava and Vaishnavi devotees in our most illustrious Rupanuga line, and all the Vaishnava and Vaishnavi devotees who are listening to these descriptions of Vraja-mandala Parikrama. My dandavats to all of you. Vancha kalpa tarubhyascha, kripa sindhavevacha, patitanam pavnibhyo vaishnavebhyo namaha. So today is just not a walking parikrama very much, but just basically celebrating Giriraj Govardhan. It's the Annakut. And traditionally, I'm sure many of you watching today may remember when my beloved Gurudev, he would arrange for us all in the, like last night, to be preparing and making so many different offerings for offering to Giri Maharaj today. So we would have hundreds, even 1,000 offerings in nice baskets covered with a sheet of colored paper. And my Gurudev would request us all to put the baskets on our heads. This is about 2,000 devotees. Some of the ladies would be dressed in special springtime color saris, etc. It would be very, very festive arrangement. And we would begin to proceed to Giriraj Govardhan. But before this, straight after our morning program, we would, the pujari, he would bring a cow, and we would all, on the front lawn of our Giridhari Gaudiya Mat, offer puja and worship to that cow. We would have gur, nice grasses, different sweets and so on to offer to him. And we'd put turmeric paste on our hands, and we'd cover the cow with decoration and markings, Go-Krda. And everyone would crowd around, and hopefully the cow would be docile enough to tolerate the crowd. But generally that didn't happen. The cow became quite nervous. Obviously that wasn't its daily routine. So we spend maybe half an hour focusing on the worship of the cow to get us fully in touch. Govardhana. Go means cow. Vardhan means nourishing. So everything about this pastime today really is about the speciality of the cows. The cows, of course, are in the mode of goodness, and the Brijbasis, they would cultivate the cows, milk them, nurture them, take care of them, etc. And their whole existence was just about taking care of hundreds of thousands of cows. So very remarkable situation for them, just to have these cows. So the whole worship of Govardhan was done with so many milk products. The cow has so much abundant milk, etc., that can be churned to yogurt, and then so many sweets can be made from it. Even today, when we go to Govardhan, there's all the milk sweet shops filled with sandesh, rasgullas, rasamalai, and so on, all different sweets from Mother Cow. So we celebrate and remember the beautiful gifts of the cows. And principally, we've had two examples of the Annakut festivals to remember today. The example that we described the other day in Anayor, when Krishna convinced all the Brijbasis that they should worship Giriraj Govardhan instead of offer all their the yagya to Indra, they wanted to offer to Giriraj Govardhan. And so Giriraj, to reciprocate with the Brijbasis, Krishna himself, he manifests himself as that enormous four-armed form of Giriraj. And this is the first Annakut. Anna means rice, actually, and Kut means like a mountain of rice. So there were many mountains of rice. It's actually described in the Varaha Purana that from Govardhan village all the way down to Anayor, which is about 1.5 kilometers, 2 kilometers, was just filled with all different types of foodstuffs. There was mountains of samosas, mountains of halava, mountains of pakora, mountains of puris. So the Brijbasis, in their extreme gratitude to Giriraj for all the nourishment that he'd given to the cows, etc., they wanted to offer all this in such a munificent, benevolent way back to Govardhan. And Giriraj, Govardhan, he reciprocates with them, as we described the other day in Anayor. He reaches out and he takes and actually consumes all of those preparations right in front of the Brijbasis. And every now and again, he's drinking from the different kunds as well as eating. And he empties all the kunds. And then he is all the time saying, more, bring more, bring more. The Brijbasis are running to their homes. They're collecting as much as they possibly can. The idea is to, with all that we have to offer to Giriraj today, everything we should offer to him. And it's described that after one Brahmin came and offered a tulsi plant, that Triptosmi, Giriraj is saying, now I'm satisfied, now I'm satisfied. And then, to the happiness and joy of all the Brijbasis, all of those preparations was again manifest in front of them. So the Brijbasis, they were all honoring that prasad. So this is like the first Annakut festival. And the second, which we've already heard about also, was when Madhavendra Puri revealed the Gopal deity. And that deity, or Natadwa, we call it today, or him today also, but that deity was also celebrated, but with many Annakut festivals, because all the local villages, they all wanted to come and make an offering today to the Gopal deity, the lifter of Govardhan Hill. This is who he is. He's the lifter of Govardhan Hill. So this was in the time of Madhavendra Puri. So that tradition has gone through till today. So today is Go-Puja, when we offer our puja to the cows, or Go-Krda, when we decorate the cows, etc. And it's Govardhan Puja, when we offer again the Annakut festival to Giriraj, or Girirani, or Haridasavarya. In 3 different ways we can see. We know that we've just described the form of Bhagavan as being Giriraj, accepting all those foodstuffs. And then the gopis are saying in the Venu Gita, Hantarya Madira Abala Dasabarya, Hantarya Madira Vasadarya. This beautiful 19th verse of the Venu Gita is describing the Giriraj as being that Haridasavarya, the greatest of Krishna's devotees. And the gopis are trying to understand what was the austerity that Giriraj performed to become the greatest servant of Krishna. And then in the commentaries, it's always described that Uddhav, he's also one of the great Haridasavaryas, or Haridases rather. And Yudhisthira also is described as Haridas. So both of these personalities, but neither of them are Haridas Avarya. This Haridas Avarya means the principal servant of Krishna in the form of Giriraj, because he gives so much nourishment to Krishna's cows. He gives places for Krishna to perform his pastimes with the suckers in all the topmost caves, etc. And particularly, He gives beautiful, secluded kunjas for Krishna to perform with Radhika and the gopis. And at the same time, he's supplying fruits and grasses and beautiful crystal waters for the cows to be nourished by. So in every way, in every single sense. And then, of course, we have the beautiful pastime when Krishna actually lifts up Giriraj Govardhan and protects all the residents from the wrath of Indra. So all of this um, munificence of Giriraj is there for us to appreciate today. And when we offer our puja, we can remember all these different pastimes. So with my Gurudev, we would always pick up these baskets, maybe more than 12, 1500 of us, and wind our way through the village of Govardhan. And then we'd come right to the very beautiful darshan place of Giriraj, where we saw him very clearly, all his shiny rock sides, etc. And then we would place all the offerings there. We would perform puja, and we would have many kirtans there. My Gurudev would often speak a few words there because it was so congested, so packed. And we were offering, and we had to have sticks to keep the monkeys away, of course. Many monkeys always trying to participate, but we were trying to discourage them most of the time. And then we would carry all of that prasadam back to the temple, and then we would begin to serve all the local Brijvasis from about 10 o'clock in the morning until about 6 o'clock in the evening. We would just be continually one wave after another wave after another wave of serving all of the different parikrama yatris, the local Brijvasis, etc., and we'd just be serving them constantly throughout. So this is the mood of Giriraj. Giriraj's mood himself is that Haridasavarya, always serving, giving, 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 that mood, very benevolent mood. So that's the mood that Nanda Baba and the Brijbasis, they had the same mood. Today even, they still have the same mood. If you go to a Brijbasi's house any time of the day, they'll give you roti, they'll give you makan, they'll give you something. You'll never go away empty-handed. So that mood of open-hearted generosity is very much present. And that's the mood that we worship Giriraj in today. Today in our temple here, we had so many devotees coming and they're all feeding, etc. So that mood of just honoring the cow and honoring Giriraj. So there's very beautiful prayers, and I want to read some of these prayers today. First from Raghunath Das, this Govardhan Vashapartana Dasakam, just to get us more into the mood of appreciating the speciality of Giriraj or Girirani. As we've said, my Gurudev, even just a few days ago, it was put around the quote exactly where my Gurudev is describing how can there be two Purushas in the kunjas with the gopis. There's only one male, and that's Krishna. So all the others are Sakhis. So it's understood that Girirani is a Sakhi also, not a Manjari. She's a Sakhi. And she's also serving Krishna in the kunjas of Govardhan. So she's not a male. So we can worship Giriraj as Girirani or as Haridasavarya. We've said this before. Three forms, three different moods can be offered to honor him. So in this beautiful Nija Nikate Nivasam Dehi Govardhan Tvam, I'm just going to read the translations here, and you can appreciate the Raghunath Das. This is coming from the heart of Raghunath Das. Raghunath Das lived next to Govardhan for more than 40 years. He was in Puri for about 14 or 15 years, but he was in Govardhan for about more than 40 years when he came. After Mahaprabhu had left this world, Swarup Damodar Prabhu had left, and Gadadha had left, and Raghunath came to Giriraj Govardhan in order to actually leave his life. He was going to jump from the peaks. And it's interesting because the peaks today are not more than 200 or 300 feet high, the highest, and near Puchuri, that's the highest. So we can see in 300, 400 years, 500 years, how much Govardhan has shrunk. So anyway, he was planning to do that, and then Sanatana Goswami and Rupa Goswami understood what his intention was and convinced him that he had so much seva to do for Mahaprabhu, establishing Mahaprabhu's mission of giving this swabhakti shriyam to the conditioned souls. Because without the example of these Goswamis and their teachings, we would not know this very confidential, esoteric direction in which to go. Mahaprabhu has only given us the 8 Shikshastikam verses, but how can we understand those verses without the teachings of Rupa Goswami, and especially Raghunath Das Goswami? So here he is glorifying Giriraj, begging for a place close beside him so that he can hear from Giriraj or Girirani all the different pastimes daily. Because understand, there's not 1 or 2 or 20 or 100, there are millions of pastimes. Every moment that passes for in time is a pastime during the eternal leelas of Radha and Krishna and the Sakhas and Sakhis, etc. They're just, it's a stream, a constant stream of different remarkable pastimes. So Raghunath, he wants to hear these pastimes. He's saying, you became like an umbrella on the handle of your Lord's arm, thus obliterating the pride of Devaraj Indra, who had become impudent, intoxicated by his own majesty. We can understand why Indra was intoxicated by his majesty. Don't condemn him so much. He was a king of the demigods. He is the king of the demigods. The demigods have an enormous amount of Aishwarya Bhav because they have very important services to do. If Vayudev stops doing his service, we'll all die from not being able to breathe. If Agni stops doing his service, how can the fire of digestion work or fire in the world work? If Surya Dev suddenly decides to take a week holiday or something, then how are we going to survive? If Indra himself doesn't control the rains and everything, how will we be nourished and so on? So they have a huge responsibility, but with that responsibility comes some pride. And this is actually blocking them in their relationship with Krishna, because they meet Krishna many times. He comes as Vishnu to support them against their battles with the demons, etc. And they honor him like a great, great mystic personality practically. But they don't worship him in their hearts as bhaktas, because their guru is Brihaspati. And we've read in the 4th canto of the Bhagavatam, Srila Vishnu Chakravarti Thakur is stating that Brihaspati is described as being Brahman realized. Brahman realized means that you're realized in the abstract aspect or the nirgun aspect of Krishna, in the Brahman. So if he is realized in that form, how can any of his disciples, the other devas, be more than that? They stop at that point, and they think Vishnu is a manifestation less than the Brahman realization. So their mood of bhakti, it's described in the Bhagavatam, the devas are queuing up to take birth now in Kali Yuga, where this truth is so accessible that Mahaprabhu has come to benedict the jivas with, this rag marg. So the devas, they understand that and they want that. So they want to take birth here. This is called the planet of karma yoni, the planet where karma cycles manifest. In the devas, it's boga yoni, the places of pleasure, boga yoni. And in the lower regions, it's papa yoni, species. Yoni means species. So these different species are there. So the devas don't have access to bhakti. So Indra, he has become illusioned by the influence of Yogamaya, just like Lord Brahma, by the influence of Yogamaya, performed his Brahma Vimohan Lila. This Vimohan, he was bewildered. But he's bewildered. Krishna is behind this because Krishna wants to perform this pastime. We sing this pastime of Giriraj regularly throughout the whole 12 months of the year. And throughout the whole 12 months of the year, people are glorifying Giriraj. and they're circumambulating him. There's never a time ever when there's not one person at least who's circumambulating Giriraj. There's always, even in the darkest, deepest winter nights, there's somebody somewhere who's circumambulating Giriraj. Always. It's always going on like that. So when we put Giriraj in the forefront, immediately the sadhak, the bhakta, is going to be remembering all the many, many different pastimes that come along with Govardhana. We've been describing, we came from Anayor, then we went to Govinda Kund, and we went to, where else? That's on the other side. Yeah, we went to Puchuri. I was going in order. You've jumped across. You're not supposed to walk on Govardhana. We're walking around. So we go Anayor, then Shankashan Kund, which I omitted last time, but Shankashan Kund is there, and then there's Govinda Kund, and then we come round to the tail, Puchuri. We missed out Gauri Kund, yes. So Gauri Kund is there at Govardhana, at Govinda Kund, at Govinda Kund, and then we come to Puchuri, and then around in Puchuri we've got Apsara Kund and Naval Kund, remember? Then we come around and we start going back up the western bank. Then we've got the Rasastali. And then we go a little further and we've got Rudrakund. And then we go a little bit further. Then we've got Surabhikunj. And then a little bit further. And then we come to Jetipur. And then after Jetipur, we start our track back to Govardhana. So that's the lower or the southern, the large parikrama. So we've already, and each place there were so many pastimes to discuss. And we only discussed a fraction of the pastimes that are actually there. So we can appreciate how much Raghunath, he wants to hear. He wants a place of residence next to Govardhana. So he can hear continually all of these pastimes. So he's saying that thus obliterating the pride of Devaraj Indra, who had become impudent, intoxicated by his own majesty. And how can a king be purified of that pride? Who's going to purify him? He's the king. Who else can purify him except Krishna? Some mystical arrangement has to be made for his own good, his own welfare. Because pride is such an insidious obstruction in our consciousnesses to reach a higher, more worshipful place, mood. And if pride is there, nothing can actually penetrate through that. So this is the greatest, and Guru will also purify our various prideful obstacles, just the same as Krishna is doing here. But this is nothing but the compassion and munificence. Krishna has come to this world. It's called Karuna Mai, Karuna Shakti. He's filled with compassion for the conditioned souls. Indra is also a conditioned soul. So he's in line for this compassionate treatment from Krishna. So Krishna makes all this arrangement. You are, now he's talking, you are without comparison, the great king of mountains. We said at the beginning today, this mantra, Namaste Girirajaya, Shri Govardhana Anamine, Ashesha Klesha Nasaya, Paramananda Dayane. That Giriraj will take the sufferings and miseries, Ashesha Klesha, Klesha means our sufferings, away, and give us Paramananda. And that mountain is called Govardhana. So this is a simple mantra to remember. So then he's saying, O Govardhana, please give me residence by your side. Then the youthful couple, second verse, the youthful divine couple perform delightful amorous pastimes. By the way, if you want to follow this, this is on page 313 of the songbook that I'm reading from now. The youthful divine couple perform delightful amorous pastimes within each and every one of your caves. Within each, and there are thousands of caves, gradations, and each cave is equipped Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj describes in his Govinda Lilamrita, with all types of paraphernalia to facilitate the sweetest, most confidential pastimes between Radha and Krishna. There are shining, polished slabs of stone where they throw blankets on or flower beds on to rest on. There are beautiful, like small tables, etc. There's water trickling in to the caves. There's beautiful illumination coming through crystals that are in the ceiling. There's many crystals, and there's illumination that comes from the sun bouncing off the crystals, creating such a heavenly, mystical atmosphere inside the caves. And then there's beautiful, sweet breezes in the heat of summer that will come through the caves, etc. And there's no wild beasts that will attack anybody, because this is the influence of Braj. This is described when in the Pranaya Geet, when Krishna is telling the gopis, oh, don't you know there's dangerous animals around this time? But it's saying very clearly in the commentary that there's no dangerous animals in Braj. The deer and the lions or tigers, they will embrace each other, just like in the Jarikanda forest when Mahaprabhu went through. There's no enviousness. And certainly, if we hear these pastimes about Giriraj, never ever in the rest of our lives will a snake bite us. Not possible. Not possible. If you've done Govardhana Parikrama even once, even if you've heard about doing Govardhana Parikrama, Jiva Goswami says, then never a snake will be envious of you. So that's a comforting thought. So the youthful divine couple perform delightful amorous pastimes within each and every one of your caves. Thus, since you facilitate the witnessing of their leelas, O Govardhan, please give me residence by your side. Because you've seen these leelas, then please give me residence by your side. Residence means that I'm fully dedicating my life and soul to worshipping Giriraj. This is what it means. Upon your incomparable gem-studded platforms and jeweled thrones are there, singhasans, beautiful jeweled thrones within the caves. In your broad open spaces, in the shade of your trees, by your waterfalls and streams, upon your crests and in your valleys, your dear Sri Krishna, accompanied by Balaram and all the Sakas, enjoy playful sports. O Govardhan, please give me residence by your side. Upon witnessing the Dan Keli Leela, the playful tax pastimes, that was the first place. That was even before Anayo. So when we just did that little parikrama very quickly, we missed out that place. The Dan Gati is the first place. And then Dan Nivartan Kund comes after. And then we come to Anayo after that. Because sometimes we do want to do a Manasa Parikrama. You can lie on your bed before you take rest tonight, and you can start to move around Govardhan. Try to remember. If you've been on Govardhan Parikrama, then write all the different names down. You can look in the different Vraja-mandala Parikrama book, but we start with Dan Gati, then Dan Nivartan Kund, and then it comes to Anayo, and then Govinda Kund and Gauri Kund. Why do you remember Gauri Kund so much? This is Chandravali. We don't want to remember Gauri Kund too much. But anyway, it's true. Gauri Kund is there. Upon witnessing the Dan Keli Leela playful tax pastimes of the youthful couple, who are a treasure house of rasa, you manifested a fragrant, lustrous, black raised platform in order to facilitate that sweet Leela. Krishna had to stand up high in front of all the Sakis to try and intimidate them. The Sakis can defeat Krishna at any time. They are the Shakti. Krishna is Shaktiman. But Krishna, sometimes he needs the extra boost in front of 1,000 or 1,000,000 Sakis to play his game of tax collector, to intimidate them. And the Sakis, they love that also. It's beautifully reciprocal. In order to facilitate the sweet Leela, thus you increase the joy of exalted Rasik devotees, O Govardhan. Please give me residence by your side. Unprecedented Radha Kund is most dear to Sri Hari and is also your dear friend. Playfully embracing Radha Kund to your neck, you remain hidden there while watching the ever-youthful divine couple enjoy sportive pastimes in that secret place. No one else can go to Radha Kund. Jyotila can never go into Radha Kund. The older Brijbasis, there's a mystical wall around Radha Kund. It's completely off limits to anyone who Krishna doesn't, or Yogamaya doesn't want to come into the pastimes there. It's not that some wandering personality can just suddenly, Nanda Baba can just decide he's going to go to Radhakund or something like that. When they perform their Madhyana Leela for 5 hours there, this is completely just a closed, but Giriraj is there, or Girirani is there, witnessing these pastimes. These are the most confidential pastimes. Rasa Leela, as we've said many times, includes their honey mead drinking. When they become all a little intoxicated, they're bathing in Radhakund. They're gambling pastimes. They're sleeping pastimes. Krishna going to each of the different kunjas with all the different sakis and enjoying with each different saki and the particular pleasures with Sri Radhika. And Ananga Manjari, her kunj, Swananda Sukata kunj, is right in the very center of Radhakund. These are all the most confidential places. So not even the Sakas go there. The Sakas were given originally kuns, but they have given their kuns back to the other Sakis. So now it's only the Sakis that are there. It's sort of like Kailash, where only females are allowed to actually remain there. Durgama, she made that curse that no one can come into that area except a female for the pleasure of Shivji. So it's the same situation here. With your fields, this is verse 6, with your fields, ponds, roots, grass, and the shade of your trees, you nourish the cows at every moment. In this way, you make your name, Govardhana. There's a footnote. Go means cows and Vardhan means to nourish. Successful and known throughout the 3 worlds. O Govardhana, please give me residence by your side. Verse 7. Sri Krishna, the enemy of Aghasura and Bakasura, showed you great honor, turning you into a new house by holding you aloft. O Sri Krishna, the enemy of Aghasura and Bakasura, showed you great honor, turning you into a new house by holding you aloft, thus protecting the Brijbasis from the deep hostility of Indra. Without delay, O Govardhana, please give me residence by your side. These are really, really dynamic pastimes, aren't they? I mean, this is powerful. Indra is powerful. He's the king of the Devas. He needs a powerful slap to actually purify his pride. And something like as dramatic as lifting up an enormous mountain is really strong enough to purify. Indra, he brings these Shalmantaka clouds of destruction. He brings his greatest weapons. He tells the wind gods, he tells the thunder gods, he tells Agni Dev, all these personalities, give your best, destroy this village of Braj. He's like bringing a whole army. He's using his own thunderbolt. He's bringing out his whole potency completely because he's feeling like, how can he be defeated by this little boy? That's what he's thinking. So he brings his whole entire army to try to defeat Krishna. So it's a really dramatic pastime. We can't imagine it. And underneath Giriraj, Girirani, is this whole entire village complex of jewels, jeweled houses, etc., lamps and light, and no discomfort, not even a scent of discomfort. not a drop of water entering. Sri Krishna, the enemy of Aghasura and Bakasura, showed you great honor, turning you into a new home by holding you aloft, thus protecting the Brijbasis from the deep hostility of Indra. Without delay, O Govardhan, please give me residence by your side. Without delay. Raghunath Das is a Raganuga Bhakta. He's full of enthusiasm. He doesn't want delay. He's not putting in a plea for a few years down the track. He wants it now. This utkanta, this greed, lolyam, is the symptom of Raganuga Bhakti. O Giriraj, your sweet title, Haridasavarya, best of the servants of Sri Hari, issued from the moon-like face of Srimati Radhika. This is from the Venu Geet. The Venu Geet is spoken by different gopis, but Radhika is also speaking these verses. Hantarya Madhira Bala Haridasavarya. The Ramakrishna Charanam. I keep forgetting this verse. No, from Venu Geet. Rama Krishna Charana Sparsha Pramoda Manum Tanoti Saho Goganas Tatiyat Paniya Suryavas Kandare Kandare Mula. This is the verse spoken in Venu Geet in the 18th verse. I say this verse every single day, but I say it very quickly. So when I want to try and say it slowly, I have to think about it more. The Vedas have clearly determined you to be the fresh tilak of Braj. We've mentioned this many times. If you look at the map, tomorrow we're going to look at the map because we're going on a long journey. We can see how Giriraj is right in the center, and he's like the beautiful tilak emblem on the whole of Braj. He's representing that special place of decoration in Braj. And this whole pastime, it accentuates all potency and beauty and qualities and sweetness of Braj. All the pastimes are included in this one pastime, actually. Because when the Brijbasis, when they honor Giriraj, when Krishna's convinced them not to do the yajna for Indra, then they all load up their wagons and they have a huge festival in their parikrama with the cows going in front, taking all the musical instruments, etc., having a wonderful festival of their parikrama. So everything is festive and joyful. The hearts are all ignited with sweetness and beauty. You are absorbed in the mellow of friendship with Sri Sri, Radha and Krishna and their intimate associates. It is you alone who bestow happiness upon the men, women, animals and birds of Braj. Out of your unbounded kindness, accept me who am full of distress. O Govardhan, please give me residence by your side. Many times the devotees will comment. Sometimes the devotees go and they take shelter there, and they do parikrama regularly. And they all comment the same thing. When we're doing the parikrama of Govardhan, we have no problems. Any difficulty or mentalness or disturbance of the consciousness is completely evaporated while we're doing this Govardhan Parikrama. It has its mystical, wonderment for the devotees. So much sweetness Giriraj is bestowing on the yatris who are doing Parikrama. You the causelessly merciful Sri Sachinandan, who is most dear to you, has offered me to you. This is Raghunath Das speaking. Therefore, although I am deceitful and wicked, do not consider my qualification or lack thereof. O Govardhan, please give me residence by your side. Now, verse 11. One who with careful intent recites these 10 verses about Govardhan, Lord of the dynasty of mountains, which bestows rasa, will at once attain joyful residence by his side and the auspicious jewel of direct service to the divine couple. So this is a very beautiful prayer by Raghunath Das, glorifying Giriraj. And we also should hear Krishnadas Kaviraj in his description of Mahaprabhu coming to have darshan of Haridev. Yesterday, we went to the temple of Haridev. And so Haridev is that lifter of Govardhan Hill. So I want to share from the Madhya Lila, chapter 18, beginning from verse 12. I'm going to just read the translations through here from Krishna's Kaviraj. So this now is the mood and speciality of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu that Krishna's Kaviraj has captured from the heart of Raghunath Das Goswami, who spent very intimate 14 years with Mahaprabhu. Not only with Mahaprabhu, but with Swarup Damodar. He was staying in the house or the room with Swarup Damodar. So Swarup Damodar we know is Lalita Sakhi. So Raghunath Das was continuously with Swarup Damodar. Every second of the day he was there with Swarup Damodar. He was also witnessing all of the most esoteric pastimes of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. When Mahaprabhu was experiencing the Divyan Mad, etc., or the height of that Vipralamba, separation moods from Sri Radhika or from Sri Krishna. He was in the mood of Radhika. So Raghunath Das inspired the heart of Krishnadas Kaviraj. And also Rupa Goswami and Sanatan Goswami were present when Krishnadas Kaviraj first came to Radhakund to reside. Krishnadas Kaviraj left his home when he was about 18 years old. And then he came and spent the rest of his life in Radhakund. And he had the association of Rupa Goswami, Sanatan Goswami, particularly Raghunath Das. So he's hearing all of these very confidential pastimes. This is how he's able to envisage. And he's not the author of this. Madan Mohan is the author. This is what Krishnadas Kaviraj himself declares. I am not writing this. This is the mercy of Madan Mohan. He is moving my pen. This is how he's feeling. So it begins with Radhakund. There's a small description here, and then we'll come to Haridev. So this is from verse 12. And it's saying, because of its wonderful transcendental qualities, Radha Kund is as dear to Krishna as Srimati Radharani. It was in that lake that the all-opulent Lord Sri Krishna performed his pastimes with Srimati Radharani, with great pleasure and transcendental bliss. Whoever bathes just once in Radha Kund attains Srimati Radharani's loving attraction for Sri Krishna. Who within this world can describe the glories and sweetness of Sri Radha Kund? And we know that when Mahaprabhu first goes to Radha Kund, it's just like a buffalo hole. It's nothing like the attractive, beautiful place it is today, because just the attraction of the stone guts, etc., can really inspire the heart to some degree. But the real attraction is in the liquid waters of Radha Kund. This is the potency of Sri Radhika and Sri Krishna in Shyamakund. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu thus offered prayers to Radhakund. Overwhelmed by ecstatic love, he danced on the bank, remembering the pastimes Lord Krishna performed on the bank of Radhakund. Now remember, as I described yesterday, the local residents were not appreciating this is even Radhakund and Shyamakund. They were not even fully respecting Giriraj at that time sufficiently. They would climb regularly on his back. I explained yesterday, Mahaprabhu set the precedent. He set the example not to climb on Govardhan, to give everyone full honor, the mood of full honor and respect. Can you imagine if everyone was just tramping over Govardhan, probably taking shoes and so on? When they wanted to put the road across Govardhan at Govardhan Township, it took the local government more than 30 years to actually do it, because every time they went to do it, the Babajis would always lie down on the roads where the bulldozers were going to go and break through. They wanted to drive across Govardhan. So there was 30 years of petitioning to try to stop them doing that. But then after some time, it just became weak and the government just plowed ahead and did it. We don't have to walk across the hill. I described yesterday when we came back from our parikrama yesterday, we walk around that part where the road goes on, and we go past Manasi Ganga, and we come to a natural gully, which is where the gopis would come through. It's a natural gully that comes through Giriraj at this point, which comes to Dangati, where that tax collecting pastime was. So there's a natural gully there. But this is Kali Yuga, so the governments, they do these kind of demonic things. But it took 30 years for them to actually put that road across there. But Mahaprabhu is setting such a wonderful example, because now we go there and all of us in the whole world, everyone knows, don't walk on Govardhan. The whole world knows that, except the local Brijbasi boys who are chasing the monkeys or something, and that's okay, because they're local. And, you know, very small boys or some mothers are going there, tribe people and so on, you know. This is, but for the general, all the yatris coming, nobody walks on Govardhan today. So this respect is maintained, even if it's that much respect, just by not walking on. This is the mercy of Mahaprabhu. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu then marked his body with tilak made from the mud of Radhakund, and with the help of Balabhadra Bhattacharya, he collected some of the mud and took it with him. Sri Radhakund, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu went to Sumanas Lake. When he saw Govardhan Hill from there, he was overwhelmed with joy. So perhaps this means near Kusum Sarovar. I'm not sure where Sumanas Lake is, but this is what it's saying here. And it says it in the Bengali also. When the Lord saw Govardhan Hill, he immediately offered obeisances, falling down on the ground like a rod. Full sastang dandavats. He embraced one piece of rock from Govardhan Hill and became mad. Previously, in Puri, Mahaprabhu was holding a Govardhan Shila regularly, bathing it with his tears. His love and affection for Govardhan was so intense, and now he's actually in Govardhan. This is the description in the Chaitanya Charitamrita of him in Govardhan. Madhya Lila, chapter 18. Mad with ecstatic love, the Lord came to the village known as Govardhan. There he saw the deity named Haridev and offered his obeisances unto him. Haridev is an incarnation of Narayan, but he's also the incarnation that appeared before the gopis and they accepted him as Brajendranandan. So Krishna's Kaviraj is saying he's like Narayan, but he's also manifesting to the gopis in his Brajendranandan form, because they worshipped him heartily. They wouldn't have worshipped Lord Narayan. They worshipped him as Giriraj, the lifter of Govardhan. Haridev is an incarnation of Narayan, and his residence is on the western petal of the lotus of Mathura. Mad with ecstatic love, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu began to dance before the Haridev deity. Hearing of the Lord's wonderful activities, all the people came to see him. The people were astonished when they saw Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's ecstatic love and personal beauty. The priests who served the Haridev deity offered the Lord a good reception. At Brahmakund, the Bhattacharya cooked food, and the Lord, after taking his bath in Brahmakund, accepted his lunch. So we described Brahmakund yesterday. That night, the Lord stayed at the temple of Haridev, and during the night he began to reflect. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu thought, since I shall not at any time climb Govardhan Hill, how shall I be able to see Gopal Rai? So that King Gopal Rai, Rai means king, was situated on top of the hill. This is the Gopal that Madhavendra Puri discovered in Anayos. So his temple is on the hill, Gopal Rai. So now Mahaprabhu is considering, how will I have his darshan? I'm not going to climb the hill. So he was very seriously considering, how am I going to get the darshan of that beautiful Gopal deity? Thinking in this way, the Lord remained silent, and Lord Gopal, knowing his contemplation, played a trick. Coming down from Govardhan Hill, Lord Gopal granted an interview to Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who was unwilling to climb the hill, thinking himself a devotee of Lord Krishna. So this is what it does for the heart. When we honor Giriraj by not climbing on his back, we are acting as proper devotees, not climbing on his back, understanding that sacredness of Govardhan. Gopal stayed in a village called Annakut on Govardhan Hill. The villagers who lived in that village were mainly from Rajasthan. And then there's some very interesting commentaries about the village of Annakut that are referred to in the Bhakti Ratnakara. It's saying that here all the gopis and gopas enjoyed wonderful pastimes with Sri Krishna. Therefore, this place is also called Anayor. So two places are called Anayor. The Annakut ceremony was celebrated here. O Srinivas, whoever sees this place has all his desires fulfilled. So this is when Jiva Goswami, he's with, Raghava Pandit, he's with Srinivas and Narottam and Ramchandra, taking them on Parikrama of Govardhan. This is described in the Bhakti Ratnakara. This is the translation again. One person who came to the village informed the inhabitants, the Turkish soldiers are now preparing to attack your village. Flee this village tonight and do not allow one person to remain. Take the deity with you and leave, for the Muslim soldiers will come tomorrow. Hearing this, all the villagers became very anxious. They first took Gopal and moved him to a village called Grantoli. The Gopal deity was kept in the house of a Brahmana, and his worship was conducted secretly. Everyone fled, and thus the village of Annakut was deserted. Due to fear of the Muslims, the Gopal deity was moved from one place to another again and again. Thus, giving up his temple, Lord Gopal would sometimes live in a bush and sometimes in one village after another. In the morning, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu took his bath in a lake called Manasi Ganga. So that also wasn't excavated like it is today. We said yesterday this Raj-Bhagavan Das from the Man Singh dynasty of Rajas, kings of Rajasthan, excavated and made this beautiful Manasi Kund that we have today, Manasi Ganga Kund. But that wasn't there when Mahaprabhu was there. It was just a lake, Manasi Ganga, and then circumambulated Govardhan Hill. Just by seeing Govardhan Hill, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu became ecstatic with love for Krishna. While dancing and dancing, he recited the following verse: Hantarya Madira Bala Haridasavarya Yadrama Krishna Charana Sparsha Pramoda Manum Tanoti Sahago Ganestha Panayas Suryavas Kandare Kandare Mulai. This is from the Venugita. Of all the devotees, this Govardhan hill is the best. O my friends, this hill supplies Krishna and Balaram, as well as their calves, cows, and cowherd friends, with all kinds of necessities: water for drinking, very soft grass, caves, fruits, flowers, and vegetables. In this way, the hill offers respect to the Lord. Being touched by the lotus feet of Krishna and Balaram, Govardhan hill appears very jubilant. So this is the nature of Govardhan that I've been trying to share with you, is the jubilance. This is the good word. As soon as we reach Govardhan Township, we sense a festive atmosphere. It's jubilant. It's always like that. There's always kirtan parties manifesting in Govardhan. It's a wonderful, wonderful place. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu then took his bath in a lake called Govindakund, and while he was there, he heard that the Gopal deity had already gone to Gantuli Gram. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu went to the village of Gantuli Gram and saw Lord Gopal deity. Overwhelmed by ecstatic love, he began to chant and dance. As soon as the Lord saw the beauty of Gopal deity, he was immediately overwhelmed by ecstatic love and recited the following verse. He then chanted and danced until the day ended. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, "May the left arm of Sri Krishna, whose eyes are like the petals of a lotus flower, always protect you." With his left arm, he raised Govardhan hill as if it were a toy. So this very beautiful verse is there. This is from the Bhakti Rasamrita 2.162. Vamas tama shriyasya bhuje danda sapatu va Krida Kundukatam Yena Nito Govardhan Giri. This is beautiful verse. I must learn this verse. Very nice. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu saw the Gopal deity for 3 days. On the 4th day, the deity returned to his own temple. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu walked with the deity of Gopal, and he chanted and danced. A large and jubilant crowd of people also chanted the transcendental name of Krishna, Hari Hari. The Gopal deity then returned to his own temple, and Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu remained at the bottom of the hill. Thus all the desires of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu were satisfied by the Gopal deity. So in this way, Lord Gopal's kind behavior to his devotees, this is the way of Lord Gopal's kind behavior to his devotees. Seeing this, the devotees were overwhelmed by ecstatic love. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was very eager to see Gopal, but he did not want to climb Govardhan hill. Therefore, by some trick, the Gopal deity personally descended. In this way, giving some excuse, Gopal sometimes remains in the bushes of the forest and sometimes he stays in a village. One who is a devotee comes to see the deity. The two brothers, Rupa and Sanatan, did not climb the hill. To them also, Lord Gopal granted an interview. In ripe old age, Sri Rupa Goswami did not go there, but he had a desire to see the beauty of Gopal. Due to the fear of the Muslims, Gopal went to Mathura, where he remained in the house of Vitaleshwara for 1 full month. Sri Rupa Goswami and his associates stayed in Mathura for 1 month and saw the Gopal deity. When Rupa Goswami stayed in Mathura, he was accompanied by Gopal Bhatta Goswami, Raghunath Das Goswami, Raghunath Bhatta Goswami, and Lokanath Das Goswami. Burgaba Goswami, Jiva Goswami, and Yadavacharya Govinda Goswami also accompanied Sri Rupa Goswami. He was also accompanied by Sri Uddhava Das, Madhava, Sri Gopal Das, and Narayan Das. So all of these personalities, the great devotee Govinda, Vani Krishnadas, Pundariksha, Ishani, and Laghu Haridas also accompanied him. So they all had darshan of the Gopal deity in Mathura at that time for a whole month. So this is the movements of Gopal, that he'll facilitate his devotees' desire to have his darshan. So these are very beautiful descriptions that Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj has given us of Mahaprabhu with Giriraj. There's also another description that I want to share with you and read today, just a brief one, but this is describing about the cows of Vrindavan. And tomorrow we'll give you this same description typed up on our WhatsApp thread, and we'll put it in order so you can appreciate the 108 varieties of cows, because today is Go-Krda. We've worshipped the cows. Everything we're talking about is on the back of the cows. Govardhana, it's all about the cows. It's about the deity of Haridev, who worships the cows himself. So all of these cow pastimes, Go-Puja, Govardhana, so Go-Pastami, etc. It's not Go-Pastami today, but still we remember the cows very strongly. So there's a beautiful verse from the 10th canto from the Yugal Geet. This is chapter 35. I think it is 35. Just check. Yes, chapter 35. And I'm going to read from verse 19. These verses in the Yugal Geet are in couplets. So this is verse 18 and 19 together. So I'll read the translation and then I'll read the commentary. It's just brief. So now Krishna is standing somewhere counting his cows on a string of gems. He wears a garland of tulsi flowers that bear the fragrance of his beloved, and he has thrown his arm over the shoulder of an affectionate cowherd boyfriend. As Krishna plays his flute and sings, the music attracts the black deer's wives, who approach that ocean of transcendental qualities and sit down beside him. Just as cowherd girls, they have given up all hope of happiness in family life. Even the deer have given up all hope of happiness in family life. Now Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur's commentary. In this verse, the gopis describe the bewilderment of the deer in the forest upon hearing Krishna's flute, which is similar to the bewilderment they experience while remaining in the village. This is like in Venugit. They become bewildered by hearing the sound of Krishna's flute, and they speak these verses as if they are envious of the cow's proximity to Krishna, of the cloud's closeness to Krishna. They're considering the birds are more fortunate than they are. They're considering Govardhana certainly is more fortunate than they are. So this is called arishya. This is their transcendental envy towards these objects and personalities. This is a symptom of their high Mahabhav towards Krishna. This is how they feel. They never feel that they have enough closeness to Krishna. In this verse, the gopis describe the bewilderment of the deer in the forest upon hearing Krishna's flute. So yes, these verses are spoken by the verses, like in Venugit, which is similar to the bewilderment they experience while remaining in the village. For each of the 4 colors of cows, white, red, black, and yellow. So now there's this. This is why I want to read this, to give us a description of the cows. We are into the cows today. We're into Govardhana and worshipping the cows and hearing about the cows. So here's a description of all of the cows that Krishna worships. For each of the 4 colors of cows, white, red, black, and yellow, there are 25 subdivisions, making a total of 100 colors. Okay? So we've got white, red, black, and yellow. And they have all phases of colors, different gradations of those colors. And they make up a total of 100 colors altogether. Such qualities as being colored like sandalwood pulp, tilak speckled, or having a head shaped like a mridanga drum create 8 further groups. To count these 108 groups of cows distinguished by color and form, Krishna uses a string of 108 jeweled beads. He has a string and he's counting all of these different cows because he has to call them from, say, Terkadamba. Every day near Nandagon, he has to call the cows, climb a tree, and he has to systematically make sure that all the cows are called. This is what it's describing. Thus, when Krishna calls out, "Hey Davali," the name of a white cow, a whole group of white cows comes forward. And when he calls Hanksi, Chandini, Ganga, Mukta, and so on, the 24 other groups of white cows come. The reddish cows are called Aruni, Kumkum, and Saraswati. The blackish ones, Shyamala, Dumala, Yamuna, and the yellowish ones, Pita, Pingal, and Haritilaka. Those in the group with tilak marks on their forehead are called Chitrita, Chitra tilak, Dirga tilak, Tiryak tilak, and there are groups known as Mridanga Mukhi, Mridanga head, Singha Mukhi, lion head, and so on. So these are the varieties of cows. They're not all one. There's 108 varieties. He's breaking it down very briefly for us, just a very brief synopsis of this. The gopis said, thus being called by their names, the cows come forward, and in this way Krishna would not forget even one of them. He also wears a tulsi garland bearing the fragrance of his beloved. Leaning on the shoulder of a friend, Krishna plays his flute, and that sound steals the hearts of the female black deer and brings them near him, the ocean of all transcendental qualities. These deer have given up their hopes for family life, just like us cowherd girls. So this is a description specifically of the cows. It's the only description I found that describes them in such detail, all the different colors, etc. Jiva Goswami in his Gopal Champu, he describes something, but this is quite detailed here. If this is actually opened out, it can be put in columns of the different cows, and it can be appreciated more fully for the different varieties. So hopefully we'll offer you that tomorrow on our WhatsApp thread. So today we are very busy with our Annakut preparations, offering to Giriraj and honoring all the preparations also afterwards. That also has to be done by the devotees ultimately. So this is a very festive, very joyful day, very special day, exceptional day. Annakut. It's also Deepali again. We will put the lamps on Manasi Ganga. All the devotees will come with lamps again and put them all around Manasi. I said yesterday we do it for 3 days in a row. We come to Manasi Ganga and place all the lamps to welcome Ganga Devi, to welcome Ram back to Ayodhya, and to offset the darkness of Maya and come towards the light. So all of these beautiful appreciations of Govardhana in particular, this is the backdrop of what we've discussed today. So Giriraj Govardhan ki jai, Gaura Premanandi, Hari Hari Bol, Vanchakalpatarubhyascha, Kripa Sindhavevacha, Patitanam Pavnebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namaha. So now we'll sing our Dhamma.
Namam Vishwaram Satchidanandarupam Prasatkarango Mule Vajramanam Yashodhariyoluka Raghavanam Param Vishwamatyanta Gaurukya Jantamo Munetrayamam Vijanstam Param Uya Yukmena Shatanganetam Shasatam Patri Vedantatampa Siddharthayam Nodaram Gotimadam Iti Salila Virananda Kunde Adiyeshita Yeshu Bhaktatigatam Guna Priyadastam Shatam Vidimamte Charandiva Mokshanyam Javalinga Chaitanya Mahaprabhu Idam Deva Punata Yamala Balam Asadi Idam Deva Jam Jatanilaya Idam Kalesmita Rakaisavamya Ushamitam Bimbo Rakadarame Asadi Rastam Namo Deva Namo Dhananta Vishnu Sita Prabhu Duga Jalanidana Padu Shri Vishyati Namadano Krishna Mama Jani Verano Jovata Vairayana Vayamuni Jovati Vayamita Ekapena Bhakti Samaya Guru Deva Jaya Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Prabhupada. Jai Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada. Nitya Harita, Harita, Harita,
Jai Shishi Guru Garangagan Havaka Gridhari Radha Vinota Hari Ju Ki Jai. Giriraj Maharaj Ki Jai. Haridas Sabariya Ki Jai. Giri Rani Ki Jai. Go-Puja Ki Jai. Giriraj Govardhana Ki Jai. Annakuta Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Jai. Srila Gurudev Ki Jai. Rupanuga Guru Varga Ki Jai. Gauda Premanandi. Hari Hari Bol. So tomorrow our program is going to be to Kamyavan, and we're going to Bojan Stali first, I think. It's at the top, the very top.
Yes,
Bojan Stali first. Vishvihari, the slide.
Vyomasura's cave.
Then Vyomasura's cave. Charan Pahari. Vrinda Devi and Kameshwara. And Bimalakun. Adi Badrinath. So tomorrow is a long day. We go right out into the back of Kamyavan, all around, and we even touch Adi Badri on the way back. So wonderful day tomorrow. So my Dandavat pranams to everybody. Dandavat pranams. Hare Krishna. Vanchakalpa Tarubhyascha. Kripa Sindhuvevacha. Patitanam Pavnebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namaha.